'Cause I like to make myself believe that Welcome back to another An Easy Mind reaction, guys. Today we are reacting to the channel I Betcha. Yeah, I honestly don't know how to pronounce that name. I always say Arbiture, but something tells me that it could be pronounced a different way, and that different way would be the correct way. But hey, it is what it is. Arbitrary, 1.74 million subscribers, you know the deal. Shower thoughts.
Title B.
Shower thoughts that might, that might, that might. Way to go, Houston. Shower thoughts that make me question everything. You know, I kind of do that on a daily basis, you know, shower, no shower. Constantly questioning things. I look at the sun and I question it. I look at my sister and I question her. Sometimes I even look down at my hand and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, bro, you exist. And I start questioning my existence.
Yeah, you know the deal, guys.
Let's read the description. Yeah, so about that description. Yeah, I can't read, so we're just gonna skip that embarrassing part and head on to the next part. Yeah, I feel like I read that with the complete incorrect, improper tone. Like that was not the way to read it. But I really don't think there's much to say before we get into the video. Shower thoughts later. Oh,
brother, this guy
actually goes reminds me of the series that I did have on my other channel called Shower Therapy, which was a combination of the idea of shower thoughts and couch therapy, but I just combined the two and the thoughts we were having. You know, it's kind of like the thoughts you have in the shower are therapeutic. I thought it was a great idea.
We don't care at all.
You know, couldn't come through, I guess, on it. It was weird because I was recording myself while in the bathtub. I've come to realize whatever I'm saying isn't really that important. So, yeah, let's get started on this video. Oh, you know what? Let me just get started. Yeah, you're wasting time, Houston. Wasting time. Cause you know we're not here for long. Should you guys do closed captions or no captions? Because when I post on TikTok, I add the captions. So I think I'll just leave the captions off. And just roll with that, yeah. Shower therapy. Shower thoughts. Let's go.
I promise it hasn't been 8 months since I last had a shower. This year has just flown by so quickly that I didn't get time to gather my thoughts. My shower thoughts. Dreams are confusing. Some people believe that they can tell the future, others feel that they're just a way for our brains to remember our past. Whatever you think about them, dreams shouldn't be that confusing, right? I mean, after all, our brains are the ones creating them. So why are they also simultaneously being surprised, entertained, confused, and scared by them? Like one half of your brain is creating a short film for the other half to watch.
Right.
There's a lot we don't understand about dreams, like every time we die in a dream, we immediately wake up. Is it because our brains have never seen what happens after we die, and so we don't know what to create? What if that's the case? How come our smartphones almost never appear in our dreams either, even though we spend almost all our waking hours?
Yo. Now I think about it. The primary way for communication in my dreams, the one I remember, it was face to face, you know? I was never on my phone. I was never texting. I was never, calling. It was always face to face interaction. Huh. See, I didn't know that, but that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Our smartphones almost never appear in our dreams either.
That's crazy.
Even though we spend almost all our waking hours looking at them.
Facts.
What's even weirder is to think about how many times you've been in other people's dreams that they've never
told. Yeah, I gotta start getting better at this, guys. Sorry. No, you're good. But make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. But if you're not going to do that, leave a comment. That's the one I look for at all times. Just for comments. I love to read comments. I love to read people's thoughts and what they're thinking as they're watching the reaction along with me. Or the video along with my reaction. But yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to say that. I guess I don't know if I can say I'm new at the social media thing, but I really don't try to be like, subscribe and all, because I feel like if you take a liking to it, you'll just you know, do what's needed to be done. But my dad was telling me, other people who I guess would refer to them as business minded people were telling me, yeah, you gotta start telling people what you want from them. Otherwise, they're just gonna do whatever. So yeah, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe to the channel. That's if, of course, you take a liking to the content. If you don't
you feel silly?
you know, feel free to leave your reasoning in the comment section as to why you don't like it. I guess I don't know.
What's even weirder is to think about how many times you've been in other people's dreams that they've never told you about.
No!
You need to do before you buy anything online.
Bro,
Don't
how do you
spend
get rid of
another dime on Amazon
ads?
until you watch this first.
It just messes up the whole
Anyways,
flow. You know what?
enough
Sorry,
about-
guys. Okay, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna take it back to 30 seconds. How do you get rid of ads, bro? Oh my god.
Simultaneously being surprised, entertained, confused, and scared by them. Like one half of your brain is creating a short film for the other half to watch. There's a lot we don't understand about dreams, like every time we die in a dream, we immediately wake up. Is it because our brains have never seen what
I'm not
happens
gonna
after
pause
we
it. We'll
die,
turn on
and
the
so we don't
captions.
know what to create? What if that's the case? How come our smartphones almost never appear in our dreams either, even though we spend almost all our waking hours looking at them? What's even weirder is to think about how many times you've been in other people's dreams that they've never told you about.
Actually, like the captions.
Anyways, enough about dreaming.
Right.
The past 2 years have flown by, and things have evolved faster than we ever could have imagined. I recently met up with a friend I had issues with in the past and discovered they had completely changed. They had outgrown their former self in the best way possible. I was happy for them, but I couldn't help but think that there must be people from their past who dislike a version of them that probably doesn't exist anymore. Along with outgrowing our former selves, we're also outgrowing the world we live in and the technology we use. There's a high chance that most of us will never need to use a physical copy of the dictionary again, and that our great-grandchildren will have to be told what gas stations were. I wonder what those kids are going to be like, and whether the ones who don't know much about history will think of the 1990s kids as basically being the same as the 1890s kids. If you think that's unlikely, right now most of us talk about the ancient Romans as if they're all basically the same, without realizing that the civilization spanned nearly 1,000 years. Speaking of history though, isn't it kind of funny how whenever people talk about traveling to the past, they worry about how doing one little thing differently could drastically change their present reality.
Right.
But no one thinks about how the principle is still the exact same in the present, even without the existence of time travel. If you were going to just get up tomorrow...
I'm not gonna say too much on that, but I think that's a gift. Maybe people don't really regard that thoughts as often as I would like to think. Oh, you can't see me. See, I don't have that OBS, but I just stopped on 222. It was crazy. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, no, about if you make a slightly different decision. I always talk about it to my friends. I feel like I could be a completely different person if the breakfast I ate.
I absolutely have no idea why the mic went awry just like that. And I was saying something good too, but next time, I guess.
Your next phases of choices that you get to indulge in. Like if I plan on going to France, tomorrow, I don't have the option to go to like Jersey Mike's or something, so. But if I remain here, that option, that choice remains a possibility for me. So yeah, I think whatever. Yeah, you get it. Hopefully you get it.
Even without the existence of time travel. If you were going to just get up tomorrow, move out of the country and never come back, you would be deleting a lifetime's worth of interactions and experiences and replacing them with different ones.
This guy.
You would be creating a new timeline of your life. Unfortunately, no matter what time or place you live, if the theory is true that we only have one soulmate, then the odds of us actually finding them are stacked heavily against us. The good news is that the odds also say that there's at least one person out there describing your exact features and personality as what they want in their ideal partner. So keep looking. As they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Before you commit to someone, just be warned. Every relationship either lasts forever or too long.
Dang. Yeah, no, but do you guys believe in soulmates? I think we talked about this before. I was asked out in the podcast a while back. I don't know if I believe in soulmates. I can't say soulmates exist. If soulmates exist, I think there's many mates that can be applied to one soul. So I don't think one person has only one soulmate. If soulmates exist, I think there's a multitude of soulmates for one individual soul. Because in my understanding, it's more so a matchmaking of personality or matchmaking of, core values, the things in which you like, the way in which, your way of life, it either complements theirs, or it just allows, or it just makes for better living when you guys come together. And I think that can be found in more than one person. Maybe if you could apply a number to it, a percentage to it, you might be able to figure out who has a better percentage of have an enjoyable life, whatever you regard to be a successful life with another individual, a partner, a spouse. But yeah, I can't say I believe in soulmates, at least in the traditional sense. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who can relate to me, who can understand me in in depth. But like I said, there's not just one person out there for me. At least that's how I perceive it.
Wait, what was I talking about before that?
Same.
Oh yeah, fish. Everyone values a human life over the life of a fish, but very few people value a single human life over the life of every fish. Meaning everyone has a certain number of fish that they would prefer to be alive over Bob from work.
Dang.
Same thing is especially true for spiders. I mean, spiders police the entire insect population. Without them, pests would multiply like crazy on our crops, and we would be left with famine on our hands.
That's a great question. I know I'm pausing a lot. Well, we're talking here. How many insects? Let's pick a specific. How many lives? How many ants do you think equates to one human life? I know it depends on the person you're asking. Someone who might be an avid, what do you call somebody who studies insects or studies bugs? I don't know the scientific name.
What is entomologist? An expert in the scientific study of insects. Welcome.
But an individual as such would probably, have a lesser number in comparison to the average person. So, me personally, I'm gonna have to say how many ants are there in the world? Hey Siri, how many ants are there in the world? 1 terabyte.
Gotcha.
What? How many ants exist in the world? Oh, 10 quadrillion. Like that's the first thing, skeptic.com. I don't know how reliable that source is, but we're just going based off that. 10 quadrillion ants. So don't even know how much that is. Like I can't even picture the number numerically. Like I can't fathom it right now. How many zeros is that? 14? Quadrillion. I'm thinking 14 zeros maybe. But dang, I really don't know. I was gonna say a billion, but then there's 10 quadrillion. So maybe 9 quadrillion? Because one quadrillion is a lot, And how fast do they reproduce? How rapidly do they reproduce? I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. I really don't know. And I don't feel like thinking about it anymore. But I'm going to stick with 5 quadrillion. 5 quadrillion ants equal the life of one human being. The average human being.
So, as sad as it might be to admit, a room full of spiders might be more important than you and I. There's also a chance that someone you know will use the excuse of your death as a reason to get out of an obligation. And there's also not a chance, but a fact, that someone in your circle of friends will have no friends at their funeral, because that friend will have been the last one alive. This is typically part of the conversation where whoever I'm talking to tells me to stop fixating on stuff like this and just live in the moment. And I have to calmly explain to them that by the time our brains process the present, the moment is already in the past.
Facts.
The living in the moment paradox seems obvious once you give it a moment. but our brains just can't help saying it automatically anyways. There are a lot.
That's actually funny, because that's the same thought process that I go through when people tell me, because I like to plan for the future, and I'm always, looking ahead and trying to, I guess, delegate between different possibilities. But everyone tells me, live in the moment, live in the moment. And it's like the moment we think about the moment is that moment leaves us. And it was like, relatively speaking, are you referring to the moment? Like maybe we're at a party and you say live in the moment, so we're referring to the moment of the party, or maybe it could be the moment of a conversation or the moment of a drink. Hey, have a toast, just live in the moment. It's like, nah, I got work tomorrow. I don't know, but yeah. I'm just
A lot of other things our brains can't help but do automatically, like reading every single street sign and billboard you pass by when you're looking out of a car window as a passenger, or listening to all the conversations happening within earshot unless you're blocking them out with headphones or some other distraction. In that sense, being in a foreign country where you can't speak the language must allow your brain to relax in a way that it hasn't been able to since you were a baby. All that forced reading and listening aside, I know I like to dunk on the English language, but it can be pretty cool sometimes.
I never thought about that.
Every single thing that has ever been written in English, from Shakespeare to People magazine, has been written using the same 26 letters.
For real.
This
No.
right here is one of my 18 audiobooks that I own. It made 82 sales last month on Audible.
Take it
English,
back.
from Shakespeare to People magazine, has been written using the same 26 letters.
That's crazy. The combination
Speaking
of
of
words.
those 26 letters, did you know Benjamin Franklin tried to remove 6 of them because he considered them too difficult to pronounce?
Skill set.
Those letters were C, J, Q, W, X, and Y. For example, Franklin thought that the simultaneous hard and soft sound of the letter C could be replaced with a combination of K and S. To be frank, he was definitely onto something. Coffee makes you hyper, but coffee shops are places where you go to chill. Alcohol, on the other hand, is a depressant, and yet clubs and bars are so damn stimulating. It's no wonder society changed forever when we replaced alcohol with coffee. It's totally normal and cute to name your cat Whiskers or your dog Spot, but you can't name your kid Leg, Spine, or Freckle. While we're on the subject of body parts, has it ever occurred to you that your teeth are the only part of your skeletal system that require cleaning? It's weird, but it makes sense. After all, our femurs and skulls aren't the ones biting into that red-hot chicken wing. Unless you're vegan, everyone loves the taste of carefully seasoned chicken wings, and why wouldn't we? They represent the pinnacle of human evolution. You're eating the wing that a bird couldn't use to escape us, covered in the spices that were once a plant's best attempt at warding us away, made together in a process that's basically
Wait, what? You telling me the spices in which plants create is a defense mechanism for the plant? And yet, nearly every individual that has ever existed indulges in these spices.
Wow.
In my respective perspective, that's a weak defense mechanism. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know how true it is. Well, let's just say everything in this video is true for the sake of the video. But that's wild. Like, imagine your defense mechanism is something that your predator takes a liking to. So what are you actually defending? It's more like an offensive mechanism. Not quite sure that's a thing. I might be too energetic right now, so not really making sense. It's funny, I say I'm energetic and I have the most monotone voice ever. Let's get back to the video, guys.
Which were once a plant's best attempt at warding us away, made together in a process that's basically witchcraft. Think about it. You place a dead animal, plants, and spices into a cauldron while following the instructions from a book written by old people. When we're not stealing spices from trees, we're cutting them down, only to force them to relive their demise every single game night in the form of Jenga. No matter how intelligent or advanced we get as a species, though, there's some things that nature will just always beat us at. Like, regardless of how many trees we kill, we'll still need them to build our coffins, and when you boil water to kill germs, you're still drinking them, they're just now dead. Although exterminators get paid to kill pests, they need those pests to be alive in the first place in order for them to make a living. One good example of us continually trying and failing to be in control of our nature is falling asleep. We practice it every single night, yet for some of us it never seems to get easier. All this weirdness creates a multitude of, bizarre things in society that we all just go along with. I mean, we literally concocted the concept of sports just so we could battle one another in a friendly manner. As it turns out, we actually enjoy running around and chasing spheres as much as dogs do. You know, thinking about it, dogs are truly humans' best friend. Sadly, even more than another human. It's why some people will treat stray dogs a lot nicer than they treat homeless humans, and movie scenes where a dog gets hurt often feel more sad and disturbing than scenes where a human is. Just ask John Wick fans whose death hurt the most. Timing is everything. Depending on when you grew up, Barney was either a caveman, a dinosaur, an alcoholic, or a womanizer. If you run at 11 p.m., you're a night person. If you run at 5 a.m., you're a morning person. But if you run at 3 a.m., you're just a suspicious person.
Yo, it is crazy how, I don't even know how to explain it. Well, I do if I took my time, but I'm not trying to take my time because I like to believe we're on a time limit here. But like just the context in which you're speaking of, it depends on the context in which you're speaking of. The outcome or the general thought of that situation, scenario, or concept you're talking about can be different. Like basically what he just said, you know, the different times in which you're running can bring about different thoughts about the runner. And, you know, about 3 a.m. being the, let me go back. What he said but if you run at 3 a.m. Okay, hold on.
If you run at 11
at 11 p.m., you're a night person. If you run at 5 a.m., you're a morning person. But, you know, between run after 11 p.m., before 5 a.m., you're kind of, you know, suspicious. I just said what he just said, but I just needed to rejog my mind. But yeah, no, it's just wild to think about. And I think about all the time and in regards to communication and language. And I always try to look for, I guess you could say, the perfect tone. An agreeable tone. Whenever I have a disagreement with someone, I always look to approach them with such a tone that seems, is submissive the word? Nah, not submissive, but someone who can be spoken to in a respectful manner. Like the other person who's being aggressive or the aggressor, I feel like I look to take on a tone which demonstrates or conveys me as someone who doesn't need to be, you know, aggressed towards. You know, I don't need the aggression. We can talk in a calmly, convenient manner. Convenient? Yeah, I guess. Convenient manner. But yeah, no, I guess, I don't know. I had something to say, but I'm not sure if I said it right. I had a thought. I should write about it later.
Caveman, a dinosaur, an alcoholic, or a womanizer.
It's crazy.
If you run at 11 p.m., you're a night person. If you run at 5 a.m., you're a morning person.
Get the gist.
But if you run at 3 a.m., you're just a suspicious person.
Crazy.
Turning your head to someone too quickly is aggressive, and turning it too slowly is ominous, meaning there's a perfect head turn rate to convey maximum.
Okay. So like with the same thing as, you know, perfect rate at which you turn your head, also the perfect rate in which you talk, the tone in which you use, certain diction, you know, all that. I feel like I personally look to take that into consideration, as well as taking into consideration the personality of the individual in which I'm speaking with. And, you know, if I don't know the person, I look at social cues, I look at body language in order to paint this picture of who might this person be and what kind of past this person might have had based on how they're performing or acting in front of me now. And I would like to think that I do a pretty good job at handling all that and, you know, coming up with the quote unquote answer or the, I don't want to say right way, but, you know, a friendly, respectable way in which to address people. And like I said, you know, all those things play around in my mind as I'm talking to someone. But yeah.
Friendliness. We all know these things on some level, but the question becomes whether or not we're wise enough to actually use them.
Right.
There's a difference. Knowledge is knowing that you can carry out all the groceries at once. Wisdom is taking multiple trips so that by the time you're done, other family members have put most of them away. Well, unless you live alone. In that case, keep stacking those bags on your arm like a champ.
See.
Refresh, level up,
See.
and enjoy. Wait, bestie, don't press that skip button.
No.
Are you ready to earn your
skip-
psychology degree?
Not at all.
Family is everything. In that case, keep stacking those bags on your arm like a champ.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Family is everything. It's our first gateway into the world, a source of strength, joy, and laughter.
That's
At least that's what it's meant to be. Sadly, it isn't for everyone. As a child growing up with a family, the probability that your parents wanted and were expecting you is the highest if you were adopted.
Right.
Setting aside how wanted or unwanted you may have been, your parents can't escape the fact that it was their job to raise you, and your adult relationship with them is their performance review.
I think me and my sister.
Yeah, go ahead and log out for me, man.
How many of us? I think we were all accents. I'm pretty sure. I'm remembering this conversation I had with my parents. It's like, did you want us? No, we didn't. But you came about, and we had a responsibility. And they did a pretty good job, I would say, for two parents, two individuals that didn't really want something, but were responsible enough,
And, yeah.
competent enough to go ahead. Well, I guess they were forced to by the government. Like, you can't just have children and be like, nah, I'm good. Unless you give them up for adoption. But yeah, no. We were accidents. Me and my sister, I'm pretty sure were, let me not say accidents. I think that's a bit too harsh, although it might be the truth. But we were unexpected. I can't say they didn't want children, but they definitely didn't want us at the time in which they had us. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that.
And your adult relationship with them is their performance review. Maybe that's why dads tell cheesy jokes. Not because humor gets worse with age, but because the more life experience you have, the more value you place on making your loved ones laugh, even if it's at your own expense. Especially considering the fact that you're more likely to get into arguments with your loved ones than with strangers. By the way, if your parents were wise enough back then to teach you to not believe everything you see on TV, you should return the favor by teaching them not to believe everything they see on Facebook.
Dang.
Social media is strange. The more lonely we are, the more we use it. But the more we're on social media, the more lonely we get. It's like a time loop of depression. If lawyers hope you get sued, doctors hope you get sick, cops hope you're a criminal, and mechanics hope you have car trouble, then only thieves wish you prosperity.
What the?
At least there's always someone out there rooting for your success.
No, I'm not even.
If you're unlucky, they might even be sneaking around in your own backyard.
Joke's on you.
Oh, and by now you've probably recovered from learning that tomato is a fruit. But I also wanted to let you know that olive oil is a fruit juice, coffee is soup, and pizza is a sandwich.
Nah.
I might not be sneaking around your backyard, but more than anything, I definitely want to see you succeed and live your best life.
Appreciate you, man.
One of the best ways to ensure that is by learning every day to help you level up in every area of your life.
Yeah, this is definitely.
Whether you're interested in science, technology, or math, you can learn everything STEM related interactively through the sponsor of the thousands of lessons they currently.
Yeah, this is definitely an ad. All right. Absolutely. Can I say great video? Yeah, it was a great video. And I enjoyed it. It was a fun, enticing video. I think it was something great to look into after going through all that personality stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to do more personality stuff. I figured out that I was type 1 wing 9 INFJ. And I was going to do more videos on that. I was going to look into the different philosophers that share that same personality type, but I was like, nah, we're gonna close the door on that one. That's the end of that. But yeah, starting something new. I'm not quite sure what else to look into. Maybe we should start breaking it up into like things like that, different categories or subjects, and then for like a month or so, because I upload every Wednesday, so maybe a month or 2 months, we'll dive into that topic, that subject as much as we can, or we can keep it random as it has been. And so you come in next week, you don't know what you're going to get into, but you're going to get into something that could very well teach you something that you didn't know. But anyways, if you I want you guys to share some of the shower thoughts that kind of struck you or made you open your mouth and bulge your eyes out and say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. But yeah, or I didn't think of that. Please do. I was gonna say leave a comment, but I like to save that for the end. So, or I'm trying to think. Do I want to do it? Nah. No, I'm not gonna do it. All right. Yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications. But as always, if you're not going to do any of that, at the very least, please do leave a conversation. Leave a conversation. What's wrong with you, dude? Oh my god. If you're not going to do any of that, at the very least, please do leave a comment, because I would very much love to have a conversation with you guys. Good day.